The following may contain offensive language, adult humor, and or content that some viewers may find offensive. The views and opinions expressed by any one speaker does not explicitly or necessarily reflect or represent those of Mark Radulich or W2M Network. Please listen with caution, or don't listen at all. All right, we are back and we are live. The Radulich live. Wu-Tang. We
Never.
I was doing a triangle.
West Side. Yes, the boxing alternative commentary, live alternative commentary is back in full effect, and we got the band back together, ladies and gentlemen. First, I am your host, fresh off my very first solo alternative commentary from like 5 minutes ago. I am your man, David.
About 5 minutes ago.
The Showtime fight.
Yeah, that was a short one.
Well, I mean, it went the full 12 rounds. I am your host, the mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich. And down there is my lead guitar player on color commentary tonight from 401mania.com, where he does MMA and SmackDown coverage. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Winfree, how do you do?
I appreciate you not referencing that I do MLW, because boy, have they been taxing my patience lately.
I honestly forgot you do it. And ladies and gentlemen, up there he is, folks. My co-host for the history of boxing and anything involving Roddy Piper, Mr. Toxic Masculinity to you, totally 80s Pat Mullen. How do you do, sir?
Thank you, Jim. There is no 3 knockdown rule. There is no standing 8 count. Only the referee can stop the fight. In the result of an accidental foul, after 4 rounds will score the fight. And most importantly, there is no save by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Mark!
Fantastic. Boy, have I missed this. Hey, for those of you that are listening live and I see you in my counter, first of all, welcome. We appreciate you all. Thank you for...
We don't know what you're doing here, but we appreciate it.
Shut up. We appreciate
You really hate listening to Andre Ward, and you're not wrong.
There it is. No one's going to yell out Bomb Squad on this, not tonight at least. On this podcast.
Yeah, wait. Isn't it? No, it's Tessitore and Bradley on the call, isn't it?
Oh, well, usually it's Andre Ward, and he's awful, so...
Well, that is why we do this, folks, because we know the commentary for either Showtime or ESPN is less than thrilling. So we are here to save your ears and bring you the analysis that you love and whatnot. Tonight, we are covering Emanuel Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez.
Sleeper for fight of the year, everybody.
You could not have been more white when you said those names, by the way.
Emanuel Navarrete.
Oscar Valdez.
There we go.
WB, thank you, Pepe. For the WBO Junior Lightweight World title. The showdown of the summer heads to the desert in a battle that is all the makings of an instant action classic.
Are you actually just reading out the press release?
No, 3-division world. Have I memorized all of this?
Y en el color rojo, el campeón del mundial, Emanuel Navarrete.
3-division world champion Emanuel Vaquero Navarrete will defend his WBO Junior Lightweight World title against former 2-division world champion Oscar Valdez in an all-Mexican duel at the Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale, Arizona.
Combate
right.
Mexicanos por Mundial.
Emanuel Navarrete.
Should I be
37
wearing a costume when I do that?
Yes.
You can't. You're neither Floyd nor Tyson. I don't think you can pull it off.
All right. He's 37-1 currently. He won the vacant WBO featherweight title October 9th of the year of our Lord 2020 against Ruben Villa. He retained against Christopher Diaz, Jose Gonzalez, Eduardo Baez, and he won the vacant WBO junior lightweight title.
Who is this mannequin they got doing the actual ring announcing?
February 3rd, 2023 against Liam Wilson at this very arena, the very same. And now, these many months later, he's back to defend the WBO lightweight championship against Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez is 31-1. He just recently beat Adam Lopez by unanimous decision. And before that, he lost his first ever fight to Shakur Stevenson, where he lost the WBC super featherweight title and did not win the WBO ring and super featherweight titles. Robert Winfree of the Screaming Boy podcast. Tell me a little bit about this fight. Where do you see it going?
Also, just for the record, I'm not taking any ring announcer lessons from a can of hairspray up there.
That's fair. Well, we got an all Mexican affair here, as has been noted. You've got an interesting clash of styles here. Navarrete is kind of a wild man. He's all action all the time, high punch count, power. A very kind of quintessentially television fighter in that respect, in addition to being, fairly world class. Valdez, as you mentioned, only lost to Shakur Stevenson. I believe that was also in a different weight class than this one. Don't quote me.
Yes.
Because Stevenson has moved up since then.
Yeah, that was, again, super featherweight.
Yeah, and Stevenson Shakur is making his home up where he can point out that Devin Haney is running from it at lightweight.
Yes, he's moving up to a weight class where he can make money.
Already officially has moved away from that weight class to avoid Shakur and Tank and a rematch with Loma, etc., etc.
Yeah, Haney. We all feel poorly about Devin Haney at the moment.
In the words of the great Shakur Stevenson, modern philosopher, you bitch.
That one line just stuck with you, didn't it?
It's like Tyson Fury, Shakur Stevenson. Actually, these days I'm very mad at Tyson Fury, but we don't have time for that right now.
You're not mad at Tyson Fury.
I am.
No, you're not.
No, instead Usyk's gonna fight Dubois, and I'm gonna not even be able to watch it because I'm going to Rob Zombie that night.
You're making a better choice.
Fair.
It's arguable. Right. Ministry's on that show.
All right, Pat. Pat, I found you in an alley on your face, drunk, needle in your arm. We cleaned you up. We gave you some coffee. We bathed you ever so daintily, and we put some clothing on you. And now here you are. Tell me what you think about this fight. Where do you see it going?
I love the fight. I think it's, like I said, a sleeper candidate for fight of the year, the way these two guys match up. They're action fighters, different kind of action fighters. Navarrete likes an all-out war, even when it's not to his best interest. And in this one, it wouldn't be because he has a significant height and reach advantage, where he'd be best off keeping Valdez on the outside. Whereas Valdez loves to go to war, but he likes a controlled war, one where he can hook a guy's arm, control who's punching when, control the spurts of action that happen in the close quarters. So for me, I'm looking for Navarrete to start fast and really try to aggressively force a high work rate from Valdez, which he can't match. For Valdez, I'm looking for him to try to control Navarrete in close, hit him where he can get hit, exit, or clinch and not lose control of Navarrete for his own defense. I think there's going to be a lot of momentum shifts in this fight. A knockdown or two would not surprise me, as tough as these guys are. But I don't think either guy is going to close this inside the distance. I think we're going the full way, and it's going to be fun for as long as it lasts.
We've actually covered it.
A lot of the late money is coming in on this going the distance.
Yeah.
And Valdez has swelled to it's boxing, so you see some pretty wide odds. But I think the last check Valdez was something like -200, which again for boxing is not actually that wide of a spread.
Right. Well, considering where they opened, I believe Valdez opened at just a -130 favorite. Yeah. So that's a lot of late money pushing that line.
We actually covered an Oscar Valdez fight, the November 30th fight from 2019 against Adam Lopez, as a matter of fact, where he won by Oscar Valdez by TKO.
Barrera and Morales together.
Yeah.
Yes,
they've been going to them all night to fill time because Top Rank is terrible about filling time after quick finishes.
That is the podcast that keeps getting away from me and Pat. We've had to postpone that now twice. All right, round 1. Here we go. Oh, and Navarrete is already just pounding on Valdez, opening him up right away.
This is what he does. High pace, high output. One of the stats that came out when they were hyping this up was, of all the combinations that Navarrete throws, 25% of them are 4 punches or more, which is an absurd work rate.
Okay, so he's already thrown more punches in this round than I think Rodriguez threw in the entire Showtime fight that I covered by myself, by the way.
Yeah.
By myself. The Joey Styles of boxing, ladies and gentlemen.
He's probably thrown more than we got in the co-main event to this particular event as well, which I watched.
Oh, Valdez goes to one knee, but it's a slip, not a knockdown.
No,
he was off balance, reaching in on a right hand. Their feet got a little tangled. What's important for Valdez right now is not to try to match that work rate of Navarrete, which he seems content to do. He seems content to just look for openings as they present themselves and take them, knowing he can't match that work rate. And that's going to be important, and especially his body work at that point.
As he's hammering that right to the body early. He's letting Navarrete overextend on his jab and then countering, which is a good strategy.
Navarrete is going to be, this is looking like one of those fights that's going to make me regret we did this, because this is going to be over before it even begins.
Like, it might.
Navarrete's laying in the leather, man.
He is, but a lot of it, he's overextending and kind of exposing himself. And once Valdez gets a little more comfortable, these are going to present openings for him. He's already finding a home, like Robert said, for that right hand to the body early. And Navarrete likes to lunge in with that left hook. He'd be better off using his length, but he likes to brawl. He likes to push that pace, so he doesn't always fight to his best.
Yeah. And again, like to Pat's big point there, when Navarrete is coming forward, if he's not all the way in the pocket, nice left hook from Valdez in close, and Navarrete returns it. Valdez looking to be smart and counter, and he's going to find opportunities for that because Navarrete's style lends itself to
big left hook there from Valdez. That one, this whole fight,
Navarrete rebounded with one off the ropes, but he was in the air when he threw it.
Navarrete sticking the meat chin out there.
Good flurry from Navarrete there against the ropes.
And he's using his size to his advantage. He's got a bigger shoulder width than Valdez. Oh, nice. Look at that. Laid in the punches, combinations. Valdez gets knocked against the ropes.
Go live on the ESPN player. I'm ahead of you, and I shouldn't be.
You can already tell this is going to be a difficult fight to score.
Definitely.
Because it's largely going to be based on quality versus quantity.
Well, so far, this has been Navarrete's round. For sure.
It is, but you can see to Pat's point, you can see the trend. Like, Navarrete is going to throw a lot, but if he doesn't get a big flurry off or something similar.
Here's what I'll tell you. He's been landing more in this round than, by contrast, Rodriguez was landing in the Showtime fight, where he threw a lot and maybe landed half. Navarrete landed more than half of those punches throughout that round.
I don't know that he did officially.
No, he's going to be less than 50.
Yeah. I would say that he was active, which is good because he's going to have to be, because that's how he has to beat Valdez. He can't match Valdez punch for punch, and trying to play the scientific game is going to play to Valdez's strategy, which we talked about. Mm-hmm. But he was good there. He was active. And again, to Robert's point, that statistic of his 4 punch or more combinations, when he found success in that round, he was throwing 4 to 6 punch combinations and backing Valdez up to the ropes and causing him to not be able to counter him.
Not to get into an immediate argument with you guys, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he was throwing those combinations, and a lot more of it was landing than not.
Well, if you look at the highlight, yes. If you look at the actual round, no. A lot of that's getting blocked. A lot of it's getting parried.
Of that, he went about 3 out of 6.
Yeah, total punches, he officially landed 14 of the 73 that he threw.
Okay, fair. All right, round 2.
And Valdez going back to the body. Again, good strategy.
Yeah, you're right. I'm a little behind you.
Especially as Navarrete, the way he throws his right, he is open to that slipping counter.
That right hand to the body is going to open the lane upstairs eventually for Valdez to be able to throw overhand rights and back Navarrete up. And Valdez's best punch is his left hook, and that's what he's going to come back with.
God, and every time Navarrete, he throws to knock the guy out.
Yeah, it's going to get him hurt. If he doesn't land that, watch the way he throws that right. He's constantly on one foot afterwards, when Valdez gets a better feel for the timing, there are counters there that he can land all day.
Oh, sure. No, Navarrete is throwing and going off balance almost every single time, but he's also throwing to knock him out. And I'm wondering if
it's the only way he throws.
It's a race to the finish at this point. Does Navarrete throw enough meat to knock him out before Valdez gets the timing and is able to effectively counter?
Valdez could be served here when he sees Navarrete going up in the air with those punches to just come in underneath him and shoulder check him a little bit and knock him off balance, or actually knock him to the ground where he wouldn't be called for a foul, and he's going to make him waste energy getting up and make him rethink that strategy when he keeps running into his shoulder with his hip.
And again, we're seeing Navarrete throw some of those slightly awkward punches here. They're not getting through quite as often as they were before.
No, but he's also a little bit more calm and composed than he was when he was coming out going all Donkey Kong. He's not as off balance as he was either.
It's not really to his benefit, though. These are exchanges he's losing.
Yeah, Valdez has landed some clean right hands again, and he's honestly starting to time the jab a little bit better.
Yeah.
If Navarrete starts losing the war of the jabs, Valdez is going to be able to pick his spots like we talked about and control the pace. Another right hand to the body, and Navarrete back straight up.
For those of you that are in our audience, we've got quite a sizable audience this evening. First of all, thank you for joining us. There's only 1 million of these going on right now. You chose us for some odd reason, so we appreciate you coming into the CBGBs of boxing commentary. If you're in our chat and you want to say something to us, ask a question, ask us to talk more about the fight than anything else, please go ahead and do so, and we will acknowledge you.
Ooh, pretty good left hook from Valdez along the ropes there.
Yeah, I was going to say prior to that, Navarrete was using some good footwork. He got out of the corner, but he ended up backing himself up too much. He almost doesn't know the dimensions of the ring at this point as much as he should. He used good footwork. Now Valdez opening up.
Yeah.
Left hook from Valdez. Navarrete's trying to cover for when he gets hit and when he feels it by just returning with volume, which is a nice way to kind of confuse the judges who are, semi-sentient cans of soup at this point. But I got a round apiece here.
Yeah, that was a good round.
I think Valdez is also putting himself in better defensive position to counter in this round than he was in the last round.
Yeah.
Where the last round, Navarrete seemed more active, but also Valdez may have been taking his measure a little bit.
What I'd like to see Valdez do this round is cover up a bit, let Navarrete open wide and throw those heavy punches, and then look for counters. I want him to stay a little bit more in the phone booth, but keep covered up, wait for the counters that present themselves. What do you think, Robert?
Well, we're seeing some replays now of that left hook that Valdez landed right before the end of the round. That's a thing of beauty, and if he's able to get a little bit more rotation into that, he'll put him down.
And he timed it well because it was Navarrete looking for that lead left hook that he throws very.
Can we give credit where credit? We give credit where credit's due, and Navarrete did walk through it and keep going at him.
Well, again, that's kind of to the point there. Like you have to be very cautious when watching Navarrete fights because he does a pretty good job of trying to convince you, no, I didn't actually get hit. No, that didn't hurt.
Right. 11 of 64 and 8 of 41, Navarrete and Valdez. 17% to 20%.
Quality versus quantity, guys.
Quality, yeah. I'm going with Valdez in that one still.
When we get around like that, my elimination system is always, who would you have rather been?
No, I'm with you guys. Valdez won the second round.
We can see Navarrete starting to miss a lot more, too. Valdez, really nice footwork. And pretty good right hand there.
Yeah.
So what he's doing versus what Lopez was doing in the Showtime fight, Valdez is not circling nearly as much, but that's not a bad thing because he's inviting Navarrete to come to him, and he's winning on those counters. Like I said, he's using a lot of defensive postures.
Nice stuff from Navarrete there.
He's using a lot of defensive
he got his belt wrong and he came back strong.
He's using his defensive posture to get some good power punches and back in on Navarrete. Oh!
And this is the danger of, to your point about the strategy, this is the danger of it for Valdez. If his defense is not quite where it needs to be, Navarrete will hit him.
And that he did. That was a good combination there from Navarrete, where he really walloped him with power punches.
The clean right hand landed and really got him going, and Valdez is going to have to reassess. He was doing a good job at judging distance, only moving when he had to and landing counters, but Navarrete has game-changing power that people sleep on.
Yeah.
What I like about Navarrete, and I see this a lot in the fights that we've called, is that when he lands a power punch, he follows up with 3-4 more punches. He's not just throwing the punch and then leaving it out there to look at his handiwork. That's excellent boxing.
Nobody has a statistical higher work rate than him other than Chocolatito.
Yeah. If we're talking about like number of combinations thrown per fight, yeah, it is. He is essentially the most active guy. I mean, to the extent you can't say Chocolatito is like out of it, but
big right hand from Valdez. That looked like it rung Navarrete's bell.
It got him to back off, so it clearly had some kind of an effect.
Yeah, he put him on pause for just a second.
And when you can break the momentum, that's a big moment because Navarrete's been having a great round at this point.
Yeah.
Valdez halted his momentum. Round's still on the table. Nobody's done enough where this last 30 seconds couldn't dictate the round based on how it's gone. But right now, Navarrete is being aggressive, and I like that. He's trying to take this round back by force. Lands a short right hand, not all of it, and he's got Valdez backing up, which is huge.
We are around 3
always
of 12.
looks to close the round strong. So we're 2-1.
We are at the end of round 3 here. 10 seconds left on my clock.
I think Mark and I are about 13 seconds behind you, Robert.
Okay. Because I've got the actual ESPN thing going, and mine was a little bit behind. The ESPN player's been having a rough night.
Yeah. I had to stop and shut it down and put it back on again. I'm on
Plus on Roku, so
am I.
If you see the I don't know if it'll help you guys or not, but if you can mess with it on the bottom part of the player, but you hit the go live the live tab. If you get backed up by buffering and whatnot, hitting that will usually reset it.
I haven't buffered or anything yet, so this is how it's running.
Okay. Well, yeah, I have not had nearly the same problems with again the ESPN player that others have, but it was having a rough night when pretty much all of the UFC card I covered earlier.
That's always been the fun of doing these things. Is where in time are we?
We're seeing the replay, and essentially they were both squared up, and Navarrete just got through with his right hand first after Valdez missed his, and caught him right on the point of the chin.
Did you see those uppercuts on the chin?
Yeah, that left hand and uppercut behind it was a really well placed punch. You could see though that Navarrete is off balance and fading backwards, so it didn't have as much on it as it could have.
Okay, the official the scorecard from Mike Kriegel gave Navarrete the second, so this guy is clearly not the brightest bulb.
Yeah, Mark Kriegel's not great, and if you've read his writing through Sports Illustrated, you understand that. Good right hand to the body by Valdez again.
Yeah, Valdez getting back to work right away here. Navarrete's
not
still
a
coming.
Single round to Valdez. That's insanity.
Oh, we're only 3 rounds in, but no, again, I agree.
I could see an argument that maybe Valdez was in it in the third to a point, but not really. But the second was definitely his. We all have 2-1 unanimously trading off rounds. And now, speaking of trading, these guys are starting to go out in the corner. Navarrete getting the better of it here, utilizing his reach a little bit.
He is, but give it a couple of more seconds, and Valdez is going to start countering him. He's starting to land some overhand rights when Navarrete is coming in. Giving him
that right just split the upright to Navarrete's guard.
And this is what we talked about with that right hand going to the body so early frequently. He's setting up for the up top, and there it is, and now a left hook behind it.
A lot of forward pressure from Valdez. That's going to, if there's something that's going to take the legs out of Navarrete in this fight, it is going to be him going backwards. He doesn't usually do that. So if Valdez can get him doing that constantly, it might be the one thing that'll affect his wind. Because otherwise, he's a superbly conditioned fighter.
Pressure breaks pipes.
Yeah. And Valdez here just backing him into the ropes and clubbing at him.
Again, we talked about earlier in that there was going to be some momentum shifts. I think we're seeing it play out very early in the fight.
You guys said this was going to be a good action fight, and it is. These guys have been, again, I comparing it to tonight's Showtime fight.
Ooh, nice left hook from Valdez.
These guys have been in each other's face so far, all 4 rounds.
Navarrete starting to swing a little wide. I mean, you can see what he's going for, but
good left hook there from Valdez.
Yep.
And Navarrete doesn't do himself favors by being off balance when he gets hit.
Yeah.
It makes the punch look more impactful than it probably is. To his credit, he comes back punching every time, but also Valdez is understanding the distance a little better than he is at this point and doesn't get hit with a lot of those counters.
Well, Navarrete's fighting like a tank.
He's starting to finally use his jab a little bit, but
he's standing square with Valdez and just sort of marching at him. but because he's also throwing such high volume, yeah, he's opening himself up to be hit, but he's presenting as if Valdez's offense has no effect on him and he can just sort of swing on him at will.
The way this fight is,
they are. When you get to the end of the round, we get some dust up there.
a little chippy.
A little bit.
The way this fight is playing
Tough
out,
round.
it's going to be who mentally breaks down from the other guy's version of pressure first. Oh, good right and good left at the end of the round by each guy. These are warriors, man. These are I gave that round to Valdez. I don't know how you guys felt about it.
I'm gonna officially go there, but if Navarrete stole that within the last 20 seconds, that wouldn't shock me.
I'll tell you what, because I'm the dope of the three of us when it comes to boxing. I'll go ahead and say that was Navarrete's round, and I'll tell you why. Again, there's the little nuance of using his bigger body frame. Yes, he's swinging wide, swinging a little wildly, but I'll tell you what. Having known judges the way that I do, Robert knows. We are very familiar with Wacky. He fights like he's going to fool the judges into giving him that round, and I'm with the judges there.
No. We mentioned that earlier. Everything he does, he's very cognizant of how it looks.
I like this replay because you're showing honestly the body positioning of each guy and
look
where
at
things land and how they land.
Jesus Christ! Look at Valdez's face. He looks like a bear is attacking him. And I'll tell you, judges look at that sort of thing.
Yeah, they shouldn't, but they do.
Nice left. Valdez getting off pretty good to start the fifth here.
I think that little end session got him a little motivated there, whereas we saw Navarrete taking some big deep breaths. So
53 punches landed, 6 4-punch combos for Navarrete.
Again, wild pace, but Valdez sticking to the body work, sticking to his pressure game. It's starting to get to Navarrete a little bit. It's not that Navarrete is out of these exchanges or whatnot, but because it's not all on his terms, I think it's starting to wear on him. He's missing a lot.
That's usually a line that I would say, and that's I totally disagree with you. I don't necessarily see it as vividly as you do. To me, I still see his his big chin he's sticking out there. He's still fighting like that ring belongs to him. I'm not quite.
He is. But also the push on his punches is more visible right now.
Yeah.
He's a little bit tired this round, and Valdez is throwing a little bit more solid, even though he's not landing as much.
Well, I wouldn't disagree with you there. He's definitely feel like he could do some more work in the gym in the cardio department.
The head movement from Valdez this round, he is just making Navarrete miss all over the place.
That was a good right by Valdez.
That's more to wearing down Navarrete at this point, where the hand speed is not as crisp. He's really done a good job of mitigating all these punches, but he's got to also punch back.
So we're at 1 minute and 30 seconds, and that last exchange by
nice left hook from Valdez.
From Navarrete, where I could see where you guys he's throwing a lot and not hitting much.
There's a
good example of that.
Well, I'm where you are, Mark, so.
Give it a sec. It's coming.
Big left hand from Valdez.
There you go.
Oof.
There's a right that's going to follow it up in a second.
Right hand from Valdez. But to Navarrete's credit, man, he walks through him like it ain't no thing.
Well, he's got a tremendous chin.
He really does. And
made of solid rock.
This is a better Oscar Valdez than we saw against Shakur Stevenson, who really couldn't find
by
all
a
night.
Lot.
And it's not as though Shakur was taking his punches and coming back. Shakur never really got hit clean by him. Navarrete is taking these punches and still coming.
And we got a firefight, folks.
Shakur is Shakur is Mayweather levels of unhittable at times. So which is a completely different fight than what he's got here. He was fighting a ghost with Shakur. He's currently fighting a mountain in Navarrete.
Oh my goodness. Look at this exchange off the ropes. And Valdez doing well off the ropes, fights back.
And another left hook from Valdez.
Navarrete pushing back, but he couldn't keep him there. He had him against the ropes momentarily. Threw a little bit of a low blow there and got away with it.
A little.
And I like this. Valdez, that doesn't seem like a lot. He leaned on Navarrete's head to push him down. He's making him use that energy.
Good round for Valdez there.
I'll tell you what.
He might be coming on now that we get to the back half.
So I want to give credit where credit's due. Valdez still very much has his legs in this fight because he took a lot of punches, and a different guy in a different set of circumstances might start to lose his legs. He might start to have some difficulties in there. Valdez still has a lot of spring in his step.
We do see a mouse starting to form under the right eye of Valdez. It's not bad, but it does bear watching.
Oh, you
Well,
should
it's
have seen
also it's also got a little bit of a cut, which could be to his benefit if it
Yeah,
starts
if
to swell.
it keeps it
You
from
should-
swelling.
You should have seen the mouse on Rodriguez. Like it was like, you know, not quite what's his nuts from the UFC where it was a giant goose egg, but the mouse on his eye almost had the whole thing closed. He still won the fight.
At this point, guys, I am 3-2 Valdez. You guys are 3-2 Navarrete, correct?
Yes.
No, I'm with you.
Oh, okay. All right.
I have it the other way.
So we agree it is a very close fight. Could be
Yeah.
either way right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which is, again, what we talked about, why this could be so fun.
And again, we have Kriegel, who has only given Valdez the 5th.
Yeah, well, Mark Kriegel wrote Boom Boom Mancini's autobiography that is wild with lies. So
That tracks.
I'm not kidding. I have it right here, actually.
I absolutely believe you. Oh, left hook from Valdez. Yeah, I'm worried about Navarrete's legs, actually. Look at the way he's bouncing. That's usually a good thing, but he's off balance. He's
lot more arm punching.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. So we're like 10 seconds behind.
Oh,
yeah,
big left by Valdez.
That was a big hook by Valdez.
And it ran into a right hand there. God bless Navarrete. He is a tough kid.
Okay, so here's what I'll tell you. In the power and frame department, Navarrete has it all over Valdez. In the cardio department, not so much. He is sucking that.
The problem that
Navarrete in better shape right now than the other.
The problem that Navarrete is running into is that he can fight like at a high pace, but it's got to be a high pace on his terms. Valdez is making him fight not on his terms. That's why his legs are going. You spend a good chunk backing up, and he's been
the resistance he's seeing from Valdez is not allowing him to do this the way he likes to do it, and that's a problem.
Valdez has a lot of snap in his punches right now.
Yeah,
unlike Navarrete's been throwing, where it's a little bit wild, a little bit archy. Valdez still has very sharp technique in his punches being thrown. There's a lot of power.
Valdez's body
there's a lot of power in Valdez's hips and shoulders. And folks, you know, we are in round 6 of 12. We're almost halfway through this. If you have a comment, if you're enjoying give us a shout. You don't like what you hear and give us a shout. We're good either way.
When Valdez is jabbing with Navarrete and getting the better of it, Navarrete's in trouble.
Appreciate the kidney work from Valdez when they tie up there.
Get him in while you can get him in, man.
Another left hook.
Like he's wearing a vest of Hornets.
I'll tell you that left hook from
backing up.
I'll tell you, best weapon Valdez has right now is that left hook. Because I'll tell you what,
the body too.
He's got that like toy motion with the spring in the waist. You know, the old Karate Kid too. Look at when he twists, when he throws that hook, Pat.
He threw a beautiful one to the body, actually, which was one of the better punches he's landed in this fight. And again, Navarrete's work rate has slowed dramatically here. And again, a big right to the body by Valdez.
Navarrete missing a lot.
Oh, look at that left. Straight left, right to the nose. And what a nose it is.
You cannot let the shorter man with the shorter reach win the jabbing contest because now he's dictating the terms.
And Navarrete just not well-schooled enough with the jab to make it work.
Navarrete is pissed, but here's the problem. He's chasing Valdez around that ring, and Valdez knows it.
Valdez doing a lot of, we talked a little bit about it earlier, shoulder checking and pushing when he doesn't, instead of letting Valdez tie up.
That's right.
You have to catch your body weight and restart. It takes energy. If you're not used to it, it gets to you.
Now I would agree with you because what you were talking about is what I like to call fighting entitled, which is you're not fighting the way that, come on, stand and bang,
he's
bro.
There.
He's not fighting the fight that he wants him to fight now, and Navarrete's pissed.
He's seeing more resistance from a better schooled fighter who is not immediately backed away from him, who has kept position in the distance, used head movement, counter punches to the body instead of trying to touch him to the head, and slight adjustments rather than grandiosely stepping back all the way to the ropes, when Navarrete will have his way with you, which is what he's used to.
All right, here we see in the replay.
The more this goes on.
But don't rule out the second win from Navarrete, guys.
That's true. That's very true.
We are in the back half of this championship fight for the WBO junior lightweight title.
Yeah, Navarrete has thrown almost 500 punches. Like, that's just going to wear you down.
I mean, but that's what work in the gym is all about, Robert.
Even when you're in shape, even when you're in shape, like this is a pretty high punch count. Valdez back to work on that left, lands it to the body. still got his feet, man. The footwork of Valdez is still there, and it's not as much for
He
Navarrete.
threw a wild one upstairs just to let Navarrete know, hey, I can do that too.
We are in round 7 of this junior lightweight world title fight for the WBO junior lightweight championship.
If you look at Valdez's footwork, he's essentially using the Bud Light logo in the middle of the ring to be where he circles and moves. It's pretty brilliant.
He's doing everything he can to stay off the ropes.
Ring awareness
is into that fight, into that part.
Ring awareness is key, fellas.
And Navarrete missing punches and getting more frustrated.
I'll tell you what, that last right hook though found the mark, and
it landed, but it was very much an arm punch. Navarrete's got a little more spring in his step, but I haven't seen the snap on the punches return yet.
Somebody lost a mouthpiece.
I'm sure it was Navarrete saying, "I don't need no goddamn mouthpiece."
I don't think either one of them would balk, to be honest.
Probably not. Okay, it is Valdez's.
Yeah, on the turn down there, it dropped out of his mouth.
Which happens, especially when the gloves are around the face.
Yeah. Navarrete leaned on him the way Valdez had leaned on Navarrete, which was smart finally.
Jabs
he
from
kind of caught him
Valdez.
down a little bit. Yeah, right there. We see it in that little clinch.
Yep.
All right, we are back to live action here.
Let's see if it spurs some Navarrete activity here.
No, he's still on the back foot a little bit from Valdez, who is still hammering that body.
Okay, Navarrete needs to not be on that back foot. He needs to go back to applying the pressure.
There's a pretty good flurry from Navarrete.
He needs to go back to applying the pressure like he was. What he also needs to do is cut that ring off from Valdez, who isn't quite circling the way Lopez was in the Showtime fight.
Yeah.
But
he
needs to close him in the phone booth is what Navarrete needs to be doing.
Yeah.
Navarrete had open lanes there and punched, and it didn't buzz Valdez at all because they were arm punches. He's really not having it his way.
Yeah. I'm not saying he can't get more power down the stretch, but his power is not what it was early. Obviously.
Yeah, when they stand toe-to-toe and throw, it's Valdez backing him up.
Valdez has started kind of marching him down, zombie style.
But I mean, he doesn't have the power in his punches because he doesn't have the breath in his lungs.
Yeah.
He's struggling in there.
He needs to continue the activity level he had. He landed an uppercut, but it took a big right hand behind it.
Yeah,
he does not have the ability to keep Valdez off of him in these exchanges right now. He's got to go back to a touch, one big shot kind of routine in order to get some respect back. He needs touch, and as soon as an opening throws everything he has into that punch to land it, because he can outmatch Valdez that way.
Valdez fighting out of the clinch, and Navarrete's throwing the sink at him. Oh,
yep, that was a
little flurry there.
That was a lot. No, it was a big flurry. Nothing got through the guard.
Hang on, wait till the very end. Gonna land a pretty good left hook near the end there.
There it is. I saw it.
I think that might have been Navarrete's round. Valdez had a lot of success, but it's a little more attritive than what Navarrete was doing.
Can we look at Navarrete in the corner right now? Can we please?
I still have to go Valdez in that round, to be honest.
No, I don't blame you one bit.
So he slumped onto his stool. Like there's guys that I don't even want to sit. He looked like me after I've gone for a long walk.
I do think in that round he had a lot more spring in his step and he did punch more actively. But I don't think anything he landed was really of substance until that last exchange at the end of the round.
Yeah.
Whereas again, Valdez, even if it wasn't flashy, Valdez hit him with bricks through periodic parts of that round. And I'd have rather been Valdez in that round than I would have Navarrete.
Go back to when the bell rings. Go back to when the bell rings and they both walk away. Valdez marches. Navarrete doesn't. He kind of just sort of, harumps to the other side, to his corner, and then plops down on the stool.
So we're all waiting for Navarrete 120 to 108, right?
You're not wrong.
Canelo 120.
Cheers.
Yeah, Valdez back, guys. Valdez back to work right away.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the way he's got to be. This is a workmanlike performance from him, and it's how he would win a fight like this.
Navarrete punches the last round, 21% landed versus 26 for Valdez. So, yeah, Valdez has to have this on the scorecards.
You look at the punches landed, and it's in favor of Navarrete, but how effective were those punches?
Right.
It's not the amateurs. You don't get points for just making contact.
One of you guys
Valdez, Navarrete with a good left to the body eats a counter right for it, though.
I think it was Robert who mentioned I'm liking the work against the liver, and now I can't stop seeing that because it's happened quite a few times.
I mean, we talked about each. Oh, yeah, I saw that left to right exchange, Robert. That was big. We talked about Valdez doing that kidney work on the inside, right? Imagine wearing a vest, and in the vest pocket, there's a nest of hornets just stinging you over and over again.
Yeah.
That's what those body punches feel like over the course of a fight.
It really does. It sucks so much.
Valdez's head movement is very good tonight. It's better than I've seen it in a long time.
It's gotten better as the fight's gone on. Some of that's because Navarrete's punches have slowed.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Navarrete's head movement is more like a tombstone. Just kind of straight up there.
But man,
you got Easter Island over here.
Don't ever question the toughness of this kid because he's taken some big shots.
Oh, no.
He really has.
He is tougher than shoe leather. That is no doubt. He just doesn't move his fucking head.
And he's still in there. He's tired, but he's throwing everything he has against a very tough, world-class opponent.
Oh, another left hook from Valdez.
Man.
Navarrete didn't like it. He's backing up.
And God, Valdez still has so much spring in his punches. Everything snaps.
Benefits of mechanical efficiency.
Big left hook there from Valdez.
And right to the body, left hook. Ooh, Navarrete did not like that. He's backing up again.
Navarrete
will have these periodic moments where he lands 2 punches in succession. And the second one looks more devastating than the first. But he just stays there, and he's open for counterpunch from Valdez and immediately backs up when he's hit. He's selling Valdez's offense, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
The succession of left hooks.
Navarrete desperately wants to punch Valdez in the back of the head. He keeps almost doing it. He wants to Jack Dempsey that motherfucker so bad.
Hey, speaking of that, there was this hooker, right? Oh, wait, never mind.
And another left hook from Valdez. That'll be the last real punch of the round. Yeah, Valdez round.
Yeah.
Yeah, on my player, we're less than 10 seconds away.
Yep. He's really firmly taken control of this fight through very diligent practices of body work, countering, and proper positioning where, again, Navarrete's used to guys, when he flurries, backing up straight to the ropes.
Well, you're about to get some highlights of his late round finishes.
Isaac Dogbe, that was a big fight. I remember winning money on that fight.
And that's what he's used to doing, though, is getting them against the ropes when their legs are gone, and he's been bullying them the whole fight.
But again, if you look at where Valdez is,
not gone.
Valdez will get hit, but he'll make a slight step adjustment. He won't back 3 steps up to the ropes, hanging back, and that's the difference. He'll stand there with Navarrete and either back him up with his shoulder or punch back to the body. Little step here, little step here, little head movement here, little head movement here. And he's not using his legs to completely cross the ring when Navarrete can just move forward without consequence. There's consequence to Navarrete moving forward, and that's been the difference.
Right. Yeah. The reason why Navarrete is not getting what he wants out of Valdez, and he's not going to have that wear down knockdown, is because he's not wearing Valdez down. Valdez is very much still in this. He's still, look, his energy level isn't that different from round 1. So Valdez has fought a very conservative, very
disciplined
left to the body
fight.
Right hook. Navarrete's not looking good. He wobbled there.
Oh, the body work of Valdez. It's putting water in the basement, as our friend Teddy Atlas would say.
It is the worst thing in the world, dealing with a flooded basement.
Oh, look at that. Stumble backwards, Navarrete. Yep. We could get an upset knockout here for Valdez.
Would not be an upset.
Not an upset.
He was the favorite.
Oh, was he?
Valdez was the favorite.
I think because he was the B side of the card, but yeah, sure.
He was the B side, but he was also the favorite because odds makers aren't dumb.
They don't like paying out. More pressure from Valdez, right to the body.
The marketed favorite was Navarrete.
Ooh, left to the body.
And this is all coming off of Navarrete trying to move forward, but he has no authority behind his punches. And his feet are not set either when he punches. He's really running on fumes here based on that body work of Valdez.
Navarrete
look at that.
He's not doing well.
Did you see that shot to the body from Valdez?
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
We have drunken boxing from Navarrete. Drunken boxing alert.
Yep.
He is a bumbling and stumbling in there.
He's not in the best spot. And he's starting to preemptively hollow out his body in a fear of the body shots.
Yeah,
that hangs your chin out there.
bracing and
another right to the body from Valdez.
Valdez needs to move in like a knife and start some acute, very refined, directed punches, and I think he wins the day here.
Another left to the body. Bit of a left hook.
I like the fight he's fighting right now because he's been dictating it for rounds. He doesn't need to jump the gun and do this. He's going to let it happen organically if it's going to happen. I like him controlling this round. I like him controlling
two more. He's got
That's what I
three
was
more
saying,
rounds.
Pat. Valdez is fighting.
Got this.
You use the word discipline. I would say he's fighting surgical. He is absolutely staying in the pocket, waiting for the opportunities to move forward and using his guard effectively. Navarrete doesn't know what to do with him at this point, and he doesn't have the air in the brain or the lungs to figure it out.
There's not a plan B for Navarrete, and Valdez's plan A has worked just fine, and that's the big difference.
That's very true.
Again, going back to what we talked about at the top, Navarrete all about pace, pressure. Valdez about smart pressure.
Another left hook from Valdez. He's got him timed when he starts coming in now.
I want to see Valdez plant a little bit.
And Navarrete with the one last little flurry, but he's pushing those punches, man.
There's all arm in those punches. There's no body or no shoulder rotation. He's really just trying to push punches out there to keep Valdez off, and they're not working.
To the extent that he's got weight, it's because he's got his whole body kind of lunging forward. It's not.
Yeah, he's falling.
Honestly, round 10 could probably be our first knockdown because Valdez is in a good position. He's strong. He's still got his legs under him. Navarrete has to know he's in a desperate situation in theory again.
Yeah.
But if I'm in his corner, I'm telling him, you have lost the last X amount of rounds. We need at least a knockdown, if not a big knockout here. You have to get on and do it. And if he's going to lunge forward and do that, very easy for me to see Valdez hitting him with a counter punch and putting him on the seat of his pants.
Can we once again talk about Navarrete's presentation in the corner? He's hunched over. He's breathing heavy. You look at, they didn't really show you Valdez, but I was kind of watching it from across the camera way, sitting straight up, still, there's some, tension there. He isn't like totally relaxed in the corner, like he's relaxed, like he's taking the time off. He's very much still like keeping himself nice and loose, but not so that he's not presenting as so tired that he doesn't want to go back out there the way Navarrete is.
I'll tell you what, Navarrete landed the best punch he's landed in a few rounds right at the beginning of this round with a little sneaky overhand right.
He did, but it's starting to fall apart for him. He's throwing, but he's eating worse shots coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Navarrete's tired, man. Like he's fighting this way because it's his comfort pace and his comfort motions.
He's currently fighting like the hanging meat in Rocky. He's hanging there and
well, again, Valdez keeping position, strong legs, defensively adept, holding his ground and not letting Navarrete bull him around. Although Navarrete is punching a lot more this round.
Yeah, Navarrete's he's starting to numerically get up there. And Valdez has stopped throwing back as much right now. And
perhaps Valdez is a little bit tired at this point.
He could be. There's been a pretty high-paced fight.
Navarrete coming on now.
Valdez cracks him with a right.
Valdez took a series of punches
right
there.
Every time Navarrete gets hurt, he just throws, but you can tell when he's hurt when he throws too.
Again, Navarrete has touched him up, a lot more this round, but he's been the victim of two big punches.
I'm seeing those big right hooks that you were calling out, Robert, at a minute and 30 seconds in.
Yeah.
All right.
But again, this is the way Navarrete, if he should have fought earlier, where he's not committing everything to every punch. Touch, scene opening, bam.
Oh, body, roasting the ribs. He's got him in the corner.
And even a parry there from Valdez, like just showing, as much defense as he can and looking for that opening. And as soon as he does, he hits it. And left hook gauged him, left hook, right hook to the body.
Oh, Valdez is tearing him apart in the corner.
You don't see Navarrete ever in a corner, so he doesn't really show you the ability to fight out of it. But
that hurt. Right to the body from Valdez. Bless Navarrete. He's still punching with his shoulders, but and there's a right from Valdez.
I am so waiting for Navarrete to drop his mouthpiece because he's breathing out of his mouth.
Good right to the body by Valdez inside of the left to the body.
Yeah, that hurt. That one hurt me looking at it.
Oh, big overhand right by Valdez. And again, gets out of the way.
And they both trade. Oh, this is nuts. This final 10 seconds is bonkers.
Viva Las Mexico, everybody.
Pat, how does this compare to the Castillo fight? What we covered in the history of boxing.
I don't know that that's a fair comparison to latch out there, but this is pretty damn good with these two guys
Really
going at
is.
it. I mean, Navarrete with a big right hand towards the end of Valdez comes back and answers immediately.
And that right eye of Valdez is, I don't think they're going to stop it, but it is not, that's not how that's supposed to look.
It's not how it's supposed to look.
This is a happy crowd. So, okay, a couple of housekeeping items here real quick while we have a break. First, I want to thank everybody we have had a sizable crowd. We haven't done this in a very long time. Probably, I don't think I have since the fucking Tyson Fury, Dillian White fight.
He can still open it and see out of it.
So
they're not going to stop it, but it ain't good.
So for those of you who've been listening on our various Facebook pages or Twitch or YouTube, thank you. For those of you that gave us some thumbs up on Facebook, we appreciate you. Feel free to leave a comment if you want. I don't know when we're going to go back and do this again, but hopefully we'll be able to do these soon. If you're like, hey,
we'll be watching Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois.
I have to go to Rob Zombie that night. I don't know if it's going to work out. But Andrew asked me if I was going to cover the Ngannou Tyson
Also,
Fury
stop
fight.
calling it Rob Zombie. It's Alice Cooper.
Oh, and Valdez
Winfree.
is and piss off, by the way, to the unofficial scorer, giving Navarrete the 10th. Just
really,
off.
Mark Kriegel, really.
Valdez coming out like a bat out of hell.
Oh yeah, Valdez doesn't take no mess no more. He is out for blood.
Somebody told Valdez what Mark Kriegel's scorecard was. Correct.
Yeah, You're not kidding. Like somebody told him, you might be down on this one, man.
I think Robert and I have it 7-3. I think Mark has it 6-4, but we all have it for Valdez.
Yeah.
We are in the championship rounds, round 11 of 12, in this championship fight for the WBO Junior Lightweight World Title.
Oh, big right hand by Valdez, just a little short.
These guys are not stopping. They both know it is. Neither one of them clearly has a lead score advantage, so they're both going for a knockout.
In theory, one does, but judges, what are you gonna do? Am I right?
I'm not gonna lie.
I was really hoping for Valdez to have a Terrence Crawford moment.
If you're smart,
where he got told no, they've got him up. Like, what do you mean? He's up, and then immediately knocks him out.
Both corners are just like, you might not be winning. You better go in there and knock the other guy out.
Valdez landing the right.
Which again, good work by both corners.
This is our joke about what if you told Scott Steiner and Goldberg they were both going over.
Oh,
those rights from Valdez, man, they're starting to get there.
Yeah, Valdez is throwing a little more headhunting in this one. I think
Navarrete's starting to land.
The benefit of the judges.
Man, if he had any pep left on those punches, Navarrete could get him out of here.
Yeah, Navarrete's landed some good shots if they had
have it on them anymore.
Lunging left hook by Valdez. Oh, and a good right hand by Navarrete. This is not a bad round for Navarrete. He's starting to counter actively.
Valdez starting to come back. Oh, and another right from Valdez.
So we are.
Navarrete just walks through it, man. Easter Island on that guy's shoulders. Just
if you give Navarrete the forward leverage, he comes and punches and does work.
Good.
As soon as you don't give him that, he seems to lose everything.
Did you see the right hand from Valdez where as he was bringing it back, he stumbled?
Yeah.
Ugh, not good.
Navarrete might have found his second wind here, all things considered.
He's starting to come on here in the last 30 seconds of round 11.
He's a late finisher, but again, this is a different kind of fight than he's used to in that respect.
Well, that's stumbling
there. Navarrete goes stumbling.
Yeah,
and Valdez gets a little too happy chasing him.
And that pressure again.
Oh, jeez. That might have been a Navarrete round. And Navarrete desperately throws himself onto the stool. Wait for, I think, a Shawn Michaels bump. Just wait for it.
Okay, so I just now watched the end of that round where, again, 10 seconds behind you, Robert.
Yeah.
And it wasn't quite breakdancing Brock, but he totally almost did jazz hands.
Oh, yeah.
He was going to do it one of these.
That was the drunk guy who slides into his chair trying to look effortless. And
Yeah.
Neither one of you does TikTok, but there's this girl who, like, she gives, like, dating advice, but it's very pro-man dating advice.
Okay, and we've lost all our viewers. Thanks, Mark.
And she'll see, but the way she does it is she slides into frame, like, across a wooden floor. It was kind of like that.
Hey, why don't you tell a story about your dog next, Mark? I'm sure the viewers that are still around would like to hear that.
And
You know what they-
if we're on, hang on. If we're on TikTok, then, dogs actually do better than we do.
You know, the entire audience that's watching right now didn't need to know about the whole dog thing from 20 fucking years ago, Christian. Jesus Christ.
Hey, remember that time you drafted Christian for $141?
Welcome to the Jokes That Never Die Network.
You didn't overpay, as far as I'm concerned.
In all honesty, considering where everyone else in that we drafted in that class went versus where Christian is right now, you didn't.
I agree.
I was playing the long game. Round 12. Last
Navarrete
round.
with the left of the body. Oh, Valdez needs a solid round here. They might be trying to screw him.
Now, again, in benefit of the doubt theory,
Ooh.
Robert and I have this 7-4 for Navarrete based on the last round, I would imagine.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Whereas Mark would have this 6-5.
182 to 127 punches landed for Navarrete. I'm going to go ahead and put money on the judges have it for Navarrete.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bet money on a split decision.
Probably for Navarrete. Oh, no, that's not a knockdown. He body bumped him.
Well,
No
again,
knockdown.
body bumps matter, though.
They
Not
do.
as much
No,
in the
no.
12 as they do
Good
in the
strategy
6,
from
but-
Navarrete, but not a knockdown.
Yeah. But I like the idea. Be aggressive. Bump him off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
Navarrete has found his wind here. He has started to really come on.
And
That was
this
a
is
nice
not
hockey
good
check
news for
there.
Valdez, who is the B-side.
It really isn't. And
So, Valdez, get aggressive and start trading.
you got to start pushing him back. And we got a slip from Navarrete now. Both these guys are they're tired, man.
I mean, we've seen in excess of, 400 punches landed total,
Probably.
which means in the neighborhood of 900 thrown. Oh, yeah, there's a
Ooh.
slip. Right on the...
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, it wasn't a knockdown, but
No.
that's not good when you're on your ass and back.
Oh, Valdez starting to come on.
Funny how a slip on your ass will do that.
Come on, hit it. There you go. Oh, they trade lefts.
Good hooks from Valdez.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oscar's just landing cleaner.
Oh, nice flurry from Navarrete. And a
Right
left hook. Oh, almost dropped him. Almost caught him off balance.
They are swinging heavy leather. They are desperately. We have less than a minute left.
Oh,
They're
that eye
desperately
is a
seeking
mess.
Desperately seeking Susan's knockout. Oh, big left hand from Navarrete. He is turning on the juice. He is hoping to put
It
a
really is.
knockout.
That left hook to the body followed by the right hand from Navarrete starting to do some work.
I just don't think Oscar can see that left hand coming with that
He
eye
can't.
swollen that
There's
way.
no way he can.
We're down to the
But he
final
landed a
30
good left
seconds.
hook over the top on
He
it.
did.
circling
He's
Navarrete.
throwing. Bless him. He's throwing, but
Last 30 seconds, boys. Here we
Oh.
go. Navarrete is
right
chasing
hand from
Valdez down.
Valdez.
Valdez tougher than shoe leather, though. Just
He is.
sticking in there.
And Navarrete. Oh, jeez. What a final
Big left.
5 seconds. Those two just beat the crap out of each other.
Oh,
I love this. They are like everything that we talk about with frustrates me with fights. They are doing the opposite. They are fighting until the very last second. They didn't pull an Andy Ruiz, stand at one end of the fight and said, "Come to me," stomp his feet. They didn't just circle.
I believe this guy said sleeper for fight of the year.
You
it's
called
up there,
you
man.
did, man. You called that one.
I mean, Spence Crawford was good too, but
Well, hang on. The reason you might not go with Spence Crawford isn't because it wasn't a better fight.
It was so one-sided.
It was so one-sided.
It's fair.
Which again, who told you guys to bet what way in that one?
You absolutely called that one too.
Mr.
I
Money,
asked you
Pat
about that
Mullen.
I asked you about that right before it started. Because I hadn't asked you your opinion before, and you said, "Yeah, Crawford late finish." Then,
Although even I didn't expect that level of one-sidedness, but here we
and
are.
you could at best you could have at best given Spence 2 rounds.
2 rounds,
best.
yeah.
because he had
You
the
know what?
first.
I'm going to go on record for this one, guys. I think they're going to get it right and go Valdez, but I think it's going to be a split decision.
All right, here we go.
This has split written all over it.
They're reading the scorecards now as we speak.
1,000 punches. Valdez landed.
Oof, that eye is closed.
Oh no, like if that had been that bad, they would have stopped it earlier. That got way worse over the last 2 rounds. That last round,
honestly,
in particular,
credit to both guys. What a war this was.
heck of a fight.
This was
Valdez,
a war of attrition between 2 guys who each wanted it their way.
Valdez very fortunate that eye didn't get worse earlier. Because they would not be letting him out right now with that eye. And
I think that should tell you though the level of difference in the performance of Navarrete from those 4 through 9 rounds and the 10 through 12 rounds in terms of what he was putting out there. That eye essentially was that bad after the second round.
And then didn't get worse until the 11th and 12th.
Yeah, so I think that should tell you the level of power he's hitting with and frequency he's hitting with.
Yeah, for sure.
Can we just go ahead and say Valdez looks like he went through the windshield, down a flight of stairs. Meanwhile, Navarrete doesn't look like he was hit.
They need each other. One without the other isn't any good. No, I knew he was going to do that. He don't need Jannetty.
Look, tell me if you feel that way about Navarrete when he starts pissing blood in about 5
Jannetty
hours.
just tried to escape through the window.
Why would he do that?
Mark, by the way, are we doing a season 4 recap of Dark Side of the Ring?
I mean, if we have time and we can get it scheduled, sure.
Okay.
We'll see. I'm busy, Pat. I'm still social.
Right.
Actually, I just watched the Bam Bam Bigelow one last night.
Why did they do a Dark Side on Bam Bam?
Well, the end of his career wasn't great, so.
Okay, that's fair, but they're starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel here, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, when we heard there wasn't going to be a this season, I was fine with it. And now that I've seen what they got, other than getting the Abdullah the Butcher episode, I'm kind of like meh with this episode, with this season. Though I have to say, Bash of the Beach 2000, that episode was fantastic.
That's the one where everyone
I'll tell you guys this: the lowest 2 rated episodes of the season were Adrian Adonis and Marty Jannetty.
That's right.
I like the Adrian episode, but we all know how much I like. The
Adrian episode was great, but again, that's for the reason of Adrian's pre-WWF career doesn't get told a lot, and it was very interesting to hear from people who knew him and everything. The post-WWF years were interesting to hear about. But whatever. Marty's Marty.
All right. Real quick, some housekeeping items here. Just so I don't have to do it at the end. While we're waiting for the scorecards.
Hey, that's racist. You're talking about housekeeping during a Mexican fight? That's fucking
my God, Pat. By the way, so a friend of mine was saying that their Alexa is racist. They said, hey, can you play like cleaning music? And it started playing like salsa and merengue. No joke.
Well, all things considered,
1,038 punches for Navarrete to 436.
Now again, they're talking landed, right? You're talking 176
Kriegel's
for
an idiot.
Navarrete, 114 for Valdez. But if I'm hitting you like this, or I'm hitting you like this,
right?
Who do you want to be?
No, I get you.
Kriegel's
this idiot
official
Mark Kriegel
scorecard
has it 8 rounds to 4 for Navarrete. No surprise.
116 to 112. So yeah.
This is why we offer alternative commentary, folks. We're not paid shills. We don't get paid for this. We're not an idiot who misrepresented ourselves through Sports Illustrated. We're not a bitter ex-champion who retired undefeated, yet still people call out for his bullshit like Andre Ward. Did I say his name? Whoops, sorry.
We don't yell at Bomb Squad unnecessarily.
There's a lot of bitter ex-champions. Ward just happens to be one of them.
Let's hear from the judges.
All right, now we got the scorecards.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Robert, no spoilers. You have a bad poker face.
After 12 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for the official.
18.
Here we go.
Zachary Young scores the bout 116.
Oh, screw that. So one of the cards in particular, not the outcome.
110. And Lisa Giampa scores it
10-2. Navarrete is winning.
Yeah.
In favor of your winner by
That's the one that.
11 to.
Yeah.
11 to 1.
Yeah, that's what.
All right. Alrighty. Emanuel Navarrete wins according to the scorecards. Unanimous decision. They are what they are, fellas. Well, guys, as I said, Monday night, myself and Jesse are
Okay,
going to
hang
be.
on. Before we do the plug, just very briefly,
Yes.
I'm not saying you couldn't find a scorecard for Navarrete in there.
I am.
Pat can say that, and he's not necessarily wrong, but I'm going to say that either 10-2 or 11-1. You
Mhm.
mailed those in beforehand, guys.
Okay.
You screwed that guy.
Tomorrow, Monday night, myself and Jesse continue our journey from the corner to the deuce. We are looking at Show Me a Hero, and then myself, Robert, Dorian, and Pat, as a matter of fact. Hey, Pat, you get to meet Dorian finally. We're going to be doing the last voyage of the Demeter, so that'll be fun. It's
Again, I'll save everything to that review, but no, you know what? Let's rant on this a little bit, guys. Come on, we can't just ignore like this isn't a thing, and come on. You have 11 rounds to 1 as a scorecard.
Yes, Pat, it's ridiculous.
You have 10 rounds to 2 as a scorecard.
This is why I couldn't get you to do boxing forever, because this shit kept happening.
And you have 8 rounds to 4, which is the least egregious of them, but still doesn't make any damn sense.
But the right guy won.
Did he?
I think so. I think Navarrete won. I mean, he eked it out, but not fucking 119 or whatever the hell that was.
I know. Look, Mark's official scorecard would have been 7-5.
Yeah, but it would have been 7-5 for Valdez.
Okay.
On his card, the way we were scoring.
That's true. No, that's kind of true. That's kind of
true. Because there was that long stretch of time between rounds like 5 to 9 where we gave Valdez every round.
Pretty much, we did, yeah.
Yeah.
There were a couple in there that I acknowledged were close, but yeah, that was mailed in beforehand. Like, there's no excuse for 11-1.
But again,
None.
You point out this is why I stopped doing boxing for a long time. Because I don't work for ESPN and I'm not Teddy Atlas, so they won't fire me for going on air and talking about corruption. And there's not a national commission in there to stop this from happening to the greatest sport in the world.
What? That's one of the best Teddy Atlas rants ever, by the way. The fact that they didn't cut the camera on him, they just let him go too. There are producers who should know better than to let that happen.
I'm sure that was the best part of the broadcast. Pat, are you good? Do you need to keep going?
Here's the thing, right? Earlier tonight, there was a UFC show. Robert covered it for 411mania.com. Cub Swanson got a very disputed decision on that show. During the post-fight press conference, Cub Swanson said, "I don't think I won that fight."
Not the first time that's happened.
Yeah, his post-fight interview, first thing that he said was, "No, I don't think I won, but I'll have to watch it back."
Very honest, real assessment of somebody in that situation. You will never get that in this. Okay, you will never have.
But to the disputed decision that's Cub won, it was unanimous, 29-28 for him. The scorecard that I like to point out as being really bad there, because I think you can make the case for Cub 1 and 3. That's how I scored it live. Not sold on it, but that's how I scored it live when I'm covering it.
Again, closely contested fight.
Sal D'Amato gave Cub Swanson round 2, which is utterly stupid for how that fight went.
I'm going to go ahead and, one judge in this was a woman named Giampa. I don't know if she is the daughter of Chuck Giampa, who is a long-tenured Vegas official. It would not surprise me, a la Julie Letterman. But the fact that every judge got this so wrong.
Let me ask you a question, Pat, because now this is for TikTok purposes. Why?
No, that's how the commies win.
Why do you feel like on a broadcast like Top Rank Boxing on ESPN, do we have these judges with these egregiously wide and inaccurate scorecards?
Valdez, in his most high-profile appearance, shit the bed against Shakur, right? Let's call it what it was.
Yeah.
Navarrete has never shit the bed. When you are trying to sell somebody to viewers to watch, amongst high-profile viewers and hardcore viewers, you want them to watch somebody. Are they going to be invested in the guy that they know Shakur wiped his ass with? And he's not really going to make a splash in that, same area. Or do you want the guy who has not touched any of those guys and you can potentially still sell against them?
So your argument is that the judges are encouraged to score high for the A side.
They
It's
are
not just the A
absolutely
side. They
encouraged
are,
to
but it's not
score
just
that
the always
way.
A side.
As commentary is encouraged to tell the narrative of the fight that way.
Sure. That's why we do this, to counter that, but we can't do anything about the judging.
And again, here's something else I want to, just make clear with this commentary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're not being paid to back Oscar Valdez. We're not being paid to spite Top Rank or ESPN or whoever. We're calling this as we see it based on our knowledge and understanding of the sport of boxing, how it's scored, how it's supposed to be played out, etc.
Real quick, when I used to do this with John War, the first question he asked me was like, what promotion are you a fan of? And I went, who's a fan of, like, this isn't wrestling. Why would I be a fan of a, like, Top Rank or, Golden Boy or whatever? He was like, that's great. I'm glad to hear you say that, because that is a huge problem with boxing. That, like, there are fans that
I've never heard anyone say I'm a Top Rank fan or I'm a PBC guy.
I swear to God, he said he did, and this a few years ago.
Hang on, it's a thing that came out brief. That like it bubbled up a little bit about like 5 years ago, when especially when the network wars, like after HBO went away, right?
Mm-hmm.
After HBO stopped carrying boxing, when the network fights over boxing coverage became more of a thing, people started getting tribal about it. And thankfully, it has not maturated. It kind of existed, and everyone went, this is stupid. And we're all better off for that.
Sure. All right.
With the
and we all know Mark's a DAZN guy.
Well, hang on. The exception of that is whenever you want to yell at somebody who is doing work for one of them, you can always just go, like, that's the extent to which it exists at the moment, is attempted dismissal of others' opinions because, oh, you're a Showtime guy, you're a Top Rank guy, but that's I'm all look. If I'm a touch bitter about tribalism in combat sports and associated stuff, it's only because I was accused mere hours ago that I would be happier covering Rampage so I could give it 10s instead of my coverage of SmackDown. I had to inform this poor fool. If you think I'd give Rampage a 10, you are profoundly mistaken.
Yeah.
As the 3-belt heavyweight champion of the world, who's got that middleweight running away from him, and the other guy who fought somebody I already beat, I'm going to tell you all that these promotional wars are bollocks. So I bear a certain resemblance to Tyson Fury. I apologize, everybody.
I was going to say, you wouldn't be a Showtime fan. It would be a PBC, but that is the point. PBC is on Fox. It's on Showtime. It's everywhere. Top Rank happens to just be on ESPN.
I'd be more interested right now, honestly, if Morales punched Barrera in the face.
we get the fourth fight breaks out in the crowd right now.
Oh, that'd be perfect. All right. And with that said, we are continuing.
El Terrible, I love you, bro. You were the best, man.
We are continuing our journey from the corner to the deuce Monday night with Show Me a Hero, and then on Tuesday, Last Voyage of the Demeter on Damn You Hollywood with these fine fellow and Dorian Price, who was there but not there for the Meg review. All right. I'm tired. I have to be at work in a few hours. Pat, eventually you and I are going to talk the Marquez-Pacquiao series of 4 fights, and maybe someday we'll get to Barrera-Morales trilogy.
Oh, we will.
Third time's a charm.
Not happening.
You're going to talk about the best Manny Pacquiao performance in history. But Marquez flattened him.
Yep, like a pancake. Robert, really quick. I mean, like, really, really quick. Do your plugs.
It was mentioned earlier, I cover mixed martial arts and professional wrestling for 411mania.com. MLW stuff on Thursday, WWE SmackDown on Friday. I occasionally pinch hit in other shows when necessary, and UFC events on Saturdays. Just got done with UFC on ESPN 51 not too long before this started. It was a good prelim card. I'll put it like, dude, nothing but finishes on the prelims. Total of 8 first-round finishes when it was all said and done. Couple of fat-ass middleweights missing weight by 4 pounds apiece, and and if the UFC hadn't decided to make a depilatory Wonder Boy over not fighting Michel Pereira after he missed weight by like 5 pounds, I imagine at least one of them would have said, you know what, I don't think this is in my best interest, but, well, you lose decisions that way, and they did. But you can find my full report for that in the MMA Zone of 411 Mania. This week, I also host the 411 Ground and Pound MMA podcast. We'll be reviewing this last event, previewing UFC 292. That has 2 title fights on it. We're not sure why Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley's in Boston. Even less sure why Zhang Weili and Amanda Lemos is in Boston. The noted Chinese-Brazilian contingent that lives in Boston, I suppose. And I'll be talking news of the week because, if you don't mind a minor drum roll, there was some movement on the lawsuit against the UFC, and the judge basically raked the UFC over the coals. He conferred class status on the lawsuit. So now every fighter who competed for the UFC between the relevant years of the lawsuit is part of the class action lawsuit, about 1,200 of them. And the language of the judge's ruling in this is such that he can provide injunctive relief to all fighters. So if the judge ends up ruling that UFC contracts cannot be longer than 2 years under any circumstances, they'll have to live with that or appeal it. But we got some movement on that lawsuit, and that's one of the only things that will change how the UFC does business is the force of law, either the judicial or the legislative branch. So we'll be talking a little bit about that. But if you're interested in my thoughts on MMA or occasionally the other aspect of the wide, wacky, wonderful world of combat sports, I talk about that on the 411 Ground and Pound MMA podcast. So thank you all very much. Deeply appreciate it.
All right.
Wait, hang on. Getting something? Guys, Shawn Michaels has left the building.
And with that said, hopefully we'll get a chance to do this again soon. I'm not making any promises. I am social, but I do enjoy this, and I have been told to do things that I enjoy, and I enjoy you too as well. So with that said, hopefully we'll get
I know the context with which you were told to enjoy things, and I'm not sure I appreciate that.
So we will get back together again soon to do some more boxing, hopefully. Until then,
Three's magic number.
For She's Only 17 wingers, Pat Mullen. For He's My Cherry Pie, Warren's Robert Winfree. I used to love her, but I had to kill her, Mark Radulich. Be well, be safe, and behave.